Good evening, everyone. Let's get started. Okay, so today, no, tonight is not for women only. Eugene, you're welcome to be in because there are a lot of women around you as well. So it's all right. So, all's welcome. So let me get started. So today the topic is a bit more, it could be sensitive, it could be interesting because we're talking about perimenopause and menopause. So what is menopause? Okay, let us go through that. Okay, this is the woman's life cycle, life stages from year 0 to year 100. These are the different stages that we'll have to go through. They started from childhood. Of course, everybody goes through puberty, start to have the menstrual cycle, childbearing years, starting to go through maturity. 40 to 50 years old is the time that the woman goes through menopause, okay, followed by old age. Of course, that's not the end, okay? There are still more. Average age of women is about 86 now. Okay, of course, there are a lot of women who live even longer. So menopause, I can see from here, is just a stage in life. But interestingly, this is a stage that is not very openly discussed. I'm not sure why. Looks like, like it's a taboo or it's some very sensitive issue that a lot of people don't talk about it. So in our consultation with many clients, some clients actually tell us their health issue. For example, they can't sleep very well at night. For example, they get forgetful, their skin very dry, etc., etc. But menopause or menopausal symptom, these words didn't really come out in the conversation. Seems like it's not something that people can openly talk about, okay, or easily talk about. Okay, so today let us focus on menopause for women only. Of course, guys go through their andropause as well. We can have another session on that, but today we're going to focus on women's life cycle, the menopause. Right? So what is menopause? Menopause is actually defined by the point of time that menstrual cycle permanently stop due to the natural depletion of ovarian because of aging. Okay, so it is always diagnosed afterwards because menopause is only certain after 12 consecutive months of missed menses or no more menstrual cycle for 12 months. Then it's confirmed that the lady is already in menopause. So the average age of menopause or the median age of menopause is about 51 to 52 years old. However, there are certain reasons why a woman can go into early menopause or sudden menopause. Okay, so hopefully this is better with the echo. Okay, so let me know if you can't hear me clearly. All right, so um, chemotherapy, other cancer treatment may get the lady to enter into early menopause, surgical removal of ovarian or uterus as well. Of course, there'll be family history and medical condition. We'll be discussing more about it. But what is perimenopause? Perimenopause is actually the period of time when estrogen and progesterone actually come down slowly. And it will end only at menopause. So for many ladies, the life cycle or the menopausal or perimenopausal cycle looks like this. The last regular period, some people actually was as early as 35, 40 years old, or even 45, when at the cease of the regular period to the last period is the period we call perimenopause. Haven't menopause yet, but experiencing a lot of symptoms and precursor to menopause. So after the last period, 12 months later is um, the official menopause period, whereas the lady will move to post-menopause after that. Um, I know many ladies, younger ladies or older ladies like myself, many are concerned about this period of time. Not sure how to handle it, how to prepare for it, or how to go about, dealing with it. So we're going to share about this tonight. Okay. So estrogen and progesterone are two hormones, very important female hormones in our body, and they actually work hand in hand. So you can see the hormones level actually start from low, which is that's the first day of the menstrual cycle for a woman. And towards the day 14, you can see that estrogen is as is high, preparing the woman to get pregnant. Okay, and after that, the following week is where progesterones are at its peak to get ready the womb, to get ready the body, okay, to accommodate the new baby, or the eggs get fertile and also to accommodate the new baby until the start of the next cycle. So if the lady doesn't get pregnant, of course, the next menstrual cycle will come about and the cycle repeat itself over again. Okay, so these two are important hormones that actually play hand in hand in our body from the first day of our first period all the way to menopause. Okay, and their estrogen and progesterones are always at their high, okay, very high for female, right? And it also has got many functions in our body as well, besides, of course, preparing our sex hormones and also to bear children. Okay, so these are two important hormones that we want to look at for this cycle. So what? Oh, sorry. This is not about amino acid. This is about estrogen. So what is estrogen? Estrogen is our female hormones, and it has got many functions. For example, as you can see above, it protects the heart. Okay, so we always say for ladies before menopause we have lower risk of heart disease, cardiovascular disease such as heart disease, cholesterol, hypertension, all this we are of a lower risk because estrogen is actually protecting our cells. It protects the liver as well, so it helps with the cholesterol production, it regulates the cholesterol production. As we know that 70 to 80% of the cholesterol actually produced in the liver. It helps with the bone, helps to strengthen the bones, okay, preserve the calcium and strengthen the bone. It helps with the skin. So usually ladies has got better skin, softer, more supple, and also more moisture in terms of skin. And for the brain, it helps to control the body temperature, which is yeah part of our brain. It helps with memory function, libido adjustment, etc., etc. Of course, it helps with the growth of the breast and get ready to feed the baby, okay, feeding function if need be. For ovary, it helps with the, of course, the maturation stimulation and uterus as well. So estrogen actually plays many functions in the body, and that is also why we say that if we could delay menopause to a bit later, it could actually estrogen could actually continue to protect us a bit longer. Okay, so how about progesterone? Okay, progesterone as well, okay, helps with bone density, as you can see from the far. Okay, it helps to maintain our bone structure. It helps to calm down our brain. Okay, it helps to assist liver and kidney health, boost our reproduction functions, of course, reduce breast tenderness as well, help with immunity, lower and is anti-inflammation, lower blood pressure. That's why ladies, I think we're very fortunate or very protected because these two hormones at play actually keeping us a lot healthier compared to men. So you can see that for many men, the onset of their high cholesterol, gout, hypertension, diabetes could start as early as 30 plus years old, but for ladies, usually it only happens after menopause. Okay, so let's move on. So what are the symptoms of perimenopause? These are some of the more common symptoms during perimenopause. This is the period whereby um, estrogen and progesterone start to fall, the levels start to fall, although we still have our menstrual cycle, but it could be irregular, the period could have changed. Some women complain that they have very heavy flow, followed by irregular menstrual period. So a normal menstrual period could be from 21 days to 35 days. That is very common. But during this period, one might come after another. It could be just 2 weeks apart, or it could be 2 to 3 months apart. So it's a bit difficult to estimate when is the next cycle. Okay, there are hot flushes and night sweats, mood changes, vagina dryness. Okay, some ladies experience sleep problem and also weight changes. We're talking about this one by one, but how long does this perimenopause period last? It generally lasts about 6 or 10 years. It could be from 6 to 10 years. So some ladies actually experience this as early as after 35 or 40 years old, and it could last all the way to about 50. As we know, the median age for menopause is actually 51 or 52 years old. Okay, so this is the symptom of perimenopause. So if we look at the symptom of menopause, I'm quite shocked actually when I did this research. They are all together documented ones. There are 34 symptoms. It's quite amazing. It's quite scary, right? If you look at all these symptoms, from the popular or the very commonly known hot flashes, night sweats, irritable, fatigue, digestion problem, all the way to dizzy spells, stress, allergies, irregular heartbeats, etc., etc., and the list goes on. So it really seems like there's not a, it doesn't look like a walk in the park at all. Okay, so how do we understand more about these symptoms and how do we manage them? I think it's really important. Okay, it's really a necessary lesson that every woman need to learn even before we encounter them. I think that's important. So let's go through them. Okay, first of all, hot flashes. Hot flashes affect actually about 75% of women during menopause. So it's actually a sudden intense feeling of heat, usually at our face, neck, or torso area. Usually it's the top part, it's our top part. So ladies will feel like taking off your jacket, feel really hot. The whole face will turn red and very very uncomfortable. So that could accompany together with heartbeat as well, pressure of the head, headache for example, and also the intense feeling of heat will make it very uncomfortable. So why does this happen? That's because the low estrogen level, okay, affected the hypothalamus in the in our brain, and our body thermostat got affected. So it's like got a bit haywire. So we feel that it's very hot. We get all the hot flashes. And how long does it last? Usually these hot flashes only last for 1 to 3, 4 minutes. It doesn't last very long. The problem is that it could be 3 to 4 times a day. Some women even experience 10 to 20 times of these hot flashes a day. So you can imagine if it is so frequent, it's going to affect our life, it's going to affect our lifestyle, and for how long will this last? Some research says that it could last 7 years or more. Okay, some ladies even after menopause still experience hot flashes now and then. Okay, that this could happen, and there are some triggers. So some common triggers are like spicy food, hot drinks, of course stress, body temperature or the temperature outside with heavy clothing that can affect can trigger hot flashes as well. Okay, so in order to manage this, when I talk to some of our clients, our friends, basically what we can do is the balanced diet will definitely help. Some deep breathing exercise, 有没有听过心静自然凉? Okay, some deep breathing exercise, just stay cool and calm. That will help. Okay, avoid synthetic clothing. So when we wear clothing, we try to layer it rather than wear a very thick piece of cloth. You can layer it with 2 or 3 different layers. When you feel hot, just take out the jacket, or whatever. Try to manage that. And in terms of food or herbs, black cohosh has been researched, scientifically proven to be able to help with hot flashes. So we'll look at black cohosh later, but just keep that in mind. So it affects 75% of the ladies. We want to know how to manage it really. The second one are night sweats. Night sweats is just sleeping through towards the nighttime, just suddenly sweating all over. So some ladies could wake up like soap, the whole body will be all wet because she's been sweating so much. And it affects about 75% of ladies between 40 and 50 years old. Okay, it's the low estrogen level that is affecting the hypothalamus glands in our brain and increase our body temperature and affecting that. So you can imagine if the lady wakes up like one, two, a few times a week in the middle of the night and not able to sleep very well after that. I'm sure the energy level will be affected, the mood will be affected. Okay, there'll be many more things that's affected as well. Okay, so how to manage that? Really, later we'll be talking about it again. The balanced diet will definitely help. Exercise, of course. We can choose better nightwear as well. Again, natural clothing. Try not to wear synthetic clothing. Can keep cool with aircon. Okay, adjust the aircon a bit. Might need to discuss with the person, the next side of the bed to get the right temperature. Okay, and we can also put a cool glass of water next to it, because with the perspiration, with the night sweat, actually a lot of water loss as well. So water would help too. So these are some of the things that we can help with night sweats, and it's a big number when we look at 75% of people affected. Okay, and of course, irregular periods are a normal thing. That is why when we are about to go into menopause, this happen. It could be from a period from 3 to 10 years, okay, which is a long time. Usually started at about 45, could be all the way to 55 years old. So, like what I said just now, sometimes very heavy period, sometimes just 1 or 2 days. It could be short, long, heavy, or very light flow. So it's a bit difficult to estimate and a bit difficult to manage. Okay, this is about irregular periods. The other one is actually mood swings. More than 50% of the ladies experience mood swing as well during this period. I think this is also why many ladies don't want to talk about this. I'm not sure if you agree with me, because um, some people or some guys actually use this like as a joke, like, whenever a mature lady has got mood swing, irritable or unhappy, some people will say that, is it menopausal symptom? Symptom, as this is something that is really bad. Okay, but I think that is something that we could manage as well. Okay, so the ladies not just have mood swing, will have anxiety, sadness, okay, anger, and also concentration problems as well. So some ladies also lost motivation, and they find that they are not a good mom, a good partner, even a good friends anymore. That affected their mood and also their social relationship with their friends and with their family as well. Okay? So that would be something that we want to look at. Anxiety affect about 50% of women. Um, some women are very sensitive, become very sensitive. The smallest thing that the other person say, um, the lady might take it personally, okay, and feel bad about it, take it to heart and feel hurt, okay, or persistent worry about certain things that may or may not be true, okay. Just the anxiety is there. Also, irritability. Get angry very easily irritated or annoyed, and that affect 50% of the ladies as well. Again, all these are mainly affected by the low estrogen, which the body might not be able to adjust properly over time. That is why all this happen. It deregulates the mood, okay, and affected affected this. Right? So talking about mood swing, which affects so much, I'm quite sure that the lack of sleep, the hot flashes and all that also doesn't help. It adds on to the severity of the problem. It's just how do we want to manage this? Okay. The other one is actually vaginal dryness. Actually, the dryness is not just because it's very dry and it becomes very itchy and could have a burning sensation as well. That is because, again, lower in estrogen, which is always protecting the lining of our vagina. So that increase the frequency of urination, discomfort when we wear tight clothing, or painful sex, or even it could have light bleeding as well. So that might affect the libido, that might affect the sex life of this lady. Okay, and you also need to find ways to manage this. And the dryness is not just on the vagina area, it's actually on the skin as well. Just now, I'm not sure if you're listening to the training online. The lady Angie was talking about the sister when she was having menopause. Her skin actually was becoming very dry, and pigmentation of dark patches start to come out on the skin. So that is also a symptom of menopause. What happened, okay, with the change in hormones. Okay, and of course we know with hormones, how are we going to handle this? This is what we also want to talk about today. Okay, another important thing, although it doesn't affect so many ladies, it affects about 33% of the people going through menopause, is osteoporosis. We know that after menopause for a lady, the bones become more fragile, and the lady will have weakened bone and also losing bone mass. So with losing bone mass, there could be sudden fracture, okay, or even without fracturing, the lady will feel a lot of, for example, bone ache, back ache, feel very weak, or some feel that we actually shrink. Okay, some ladies feel that they actually not grow, shrink, got shorter. Okay, that's because of the osteoporosis. So it's important to start our bone mass at a high level so that we don't go into the danger of osteoporosis. Okay, good nutrition, okay, good diet definitely help. So if you look at woman A and B, the first one will start her bone mass this way. Even if it goes down after menopause, it doesn't go into the dangerous level. For example, whereas the woman B already starting at a lower point, okay, when the bone mass dip after menopause, it can get into a dangerous level. And we know that if someone got fractured, especially hip bone fractured because of fall, okay, the likelihood of affecting the lifestyle and even the life is very, very big. Okay, many people couldn't walk anymore after a fracture, and that drastically shortened the life of the woman. So it's important to have good food with good calcium. For example, take sardine, take calcium fortified food, get enough sunlight for vitamin D, so that we have good bone mass even before entering into menopause. Right? So having said all that, we haven't gone to this important one, which affect 90% of the women. So research shows that 90% of the women actually put on weight between 45 to 55 years old when they are entering menopause. And on average, the weight gain is 5 to 8 kg. Is that a lot? Sounds quite a lot, especially for Asian lady. We are only about 50, 60 or 70 kg. That's a good 10% of the body weight. And the bad thing is that the fats actually accumulates around the abdominal area. Okay, so for after menopause or during this period, the lady's shape of the lady will look more and more like a man. As you can see from the back, right, a lot of the men are actually straight, but they have got a tummy, okay, a tummy out. So the ladies will more and more going into that kind of body shape as well. And of course, we know with that body shape, there's a higher visceral fats, okay, higher chance of issues with our internal organs. For example, it would have higher risk of cholesterol, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease. Okay, that's also because lower estrogen affect metabolism as well. So as the body's metabolism get lower, meaning the body can only burn the amount of calorie that the body can burn came down. But if you're still taking the same calories with no increase in activity, okay, fats will accumulate, and the fats will accumulate around this area, around the abdominal area. So that is the challenge, okay, for many ladies during menopause period. Okay, so these are just some of the symptoms. Okay, out of the 34, there's no way we can cover all unless we are here all here till 2 a.m. But just that feel, I think many ladies are already feel quite demoralized or quite unhappy. Must we go through this? That is the question. We can answer that later. But let's look at traditionally what the medical practitioner recommend. Okay, as medical treatment for menopause. Now, so reading about hormone replacement therapy, it seems by the medical professional that it is the most effective treatment option to relieve menopause symptoms. Is only a symptom relief. Okay, the body still have to go through all the changes in our hormones, the ups and the downs. This just helps to control some of the symptoms. Okay, it prevents bone loss, but of course there are risks that come with it. So what are the risks that comes with hormone replacement therapy, or is known by HRT? Cancer Research UK pointed out that there's actually increased risk of breast and ovarian cancer. Okay, with HRT, there is also increase in womb cancer. There is also increase in risk of heart disease and stroke for using HRT. And the benefits are really to reduce the symptoms of the menopause, which can make significant difference into a woman's quality of life. Imagine if this woman had to go through this period 5-10 years of all the things above. Okay, this is what is proposed by the medical professional to help. But what are the real risk is how much? So if you look at the UK study, every 1,000 women between 50 to 60 years old, they follow over 5 years. Okay, the 23 cases of breast cancer actually reported. So 23 is like 2.3% of the lady will have breast cancer. Okay, additional 4 cases is encountered with hormone replacement therapy, meaning it increased the risk, okay, of breast cancer. But what actually increased the risk of breast cancer? As you can see, this is the one that has got the longest thing that actually increased by 23 case, meaning double the risk of breast cancer is actually obesity or overweight, which means a BMI over 30. Okay, so that is why we actually keep encouraging many of our friends, our clients to keep a healthy weight, because BMI over 30, which is overweight or obesity, is a really increase the risk of breast cancer compared to HRT, for example. You can look at the probability, it's actually a lot more. And as you can see from the last one, 7 fewer cases, okay, for women who exercise at least 2.5 hours every week. That is 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. So there's a reason why we also recommend such exercise. It not just help us with our overall health, it help us to reduce the risk of our breast cancer as well. So having said that, for HRT or hormone replacement therapy, it increased the risk of heart attack compared to a placebo, which is a lighter bar, stroke, breast cancer, and also blood clots. Okay, it doesn't affect the death rate, meaning having HRT or not, it doesn't shorten or prolong the life of the woman. It will just help with the quality of life during this period, but having the known risk of all these health issues. So it's really the person's decision, right, whether to do this or not. So I'll suggest you to discuss with your medical practitioner, with your gynae carefully, and truly understand the risks and the benefits. Okay, for us as nutritionists, we actually recommend natural remedies. At least we should try to do with natural remedies first as much as we can, and not to go into medication. That is always my take, at least. What are the other medication that's used for menopause? If you read this list, okay, number one, low dose antidepressant. Antidepressant are actually prescribed for certain women as well to decrease the symptom of hot flushes. Okay, the other medicine is gabapentin, which is used to treat seizures. Right? It also helps to reduce hot flushes. Other medication that used to treat high blood pressure will provide some relief for hot flashes. Okay, of course, medication to prevent osteoporosis. So having read all this, and there are many more medications as used in menopause, it really keep me thinking, do we really need this medication or not? Is that something that we can manage and dance through the whole perimenopause and menopause period, rather than having to rely on such medication? We know that all the medication, of course, will have its risks and also side effects. If we can manage our health, we can manage our lifestyle, diet, to dance through menopause, would it be better? So this is what I'm going to propose to you tonight. Okay, so the two important questions to ask, number one, is how to slow down the process of perimenopause. Some people have this symptom starting as early as 35 or 40 years old. So how to prolong this period so that menopause doesn't enter so quickly is important, because if we could prolong it a bit more, we have enough estrogen, enough progesterone to protect the body. We have lower risk of osteoporosis, heart disease, cholesterol, hypertension, etc., etc. We can delay all that to a later stage of our life. Okay? And secondly, of course, is how to manage menopause. For ladies who are already entered into menopause or already at the late stage of perimenopause, how to manage all these symptoms, okay, and still enjoy the life, okay, during this period of time. So first of all, let's look at what affect menopause age. Okay, research shows that number one thing that affect menopause age is actually genetic. Okay, so this is the time to pick up your phone and call your mom. Mommy, when was your menopause age? Okay, so that plays a big part apparently. So if the mom, auntie, means the mom sisters, are having menopause about 45 to 50 years old, likely that you will have during that period as well. That is genetic. The second thing is smoking. Okay, nothing affect our health as bad as smoking actually. It's really a toxic that we bring in directly into our lungs, into our blood system. Okay, so smoking could um, affect the menopause age by shorten our reproductive years. Okay, so if you are concerned about menopause, please stop smoking if you are still smoking. That's important. And of course, chemotherapy also will affect the menopause age. Certain ladies, when they are undergoing chemotherapy, the menstrual cycle actually stop for a while. Some permanently stop, or some could come back after that. Even for ladies who the menstrual cycle came back after chemotherapy, it also greatly shortened their reproductive years actually. So I do have clients who, because of the earlier year chemotherapy, she started menopause at about 40 years old. Okay, stop having menstrual cycle as early as 40 years old. So that is possible as well. And of course, ovarian surgery. The person, because of certain sickness, okay, did a surgery or removal, then menopause actually start immediately. Okay, what doesn't affect the menopausal years are actually the year of first period. So over the years, you can see from 1920, the average age of first period is 13.3 years old, and now it's about 12.4. So we can see that it actually gets earlier, but it doesn't affect the average age of menopause. It's still at about 52 years old. Okay, pregnancy and breastfeeding doesn't affect menopause at all as well. Okay, and use of birth control methods as well. Okay, so although during maybe 3 or 5 years during birth control, okay, there's actually the the system is actually protected, okay, doesn't overlap, okay, but it doesn't affect the menopause age. And also ethnicity. So whether Chinese, Malay or so, it doesn't affect. It's still about 51 to 54 years across the different races. Okay, all this doesn't affect menopause. So what does affect menopausal age? Okay, we are trying to use EARN because we know that all these lifestyle options would affect menopause. Okay, how to slow down the process of menopause, I want to share with you this UK research that studied 35,000 British women over 4 years. Okay, so it actually hypothesized that healthy food choices is linked to the year that the woman enter into menopause. Okay, so this research shows that oily fish or omega-3 can actually extend the reproductive years by 3 years, which is quite long, right? So from 51, for example, the median, if this lady is taking oily fish or omega-3 on a daily basis, this research is based on a daily intake of omega-3, okay, can differ by about 3+ years. Okay, legumes as well, which are the peas and the beans and the soy, okay, would be able to delay for 3 years as well. So it could prolong, okay, our menstrual cycle and don't let the menopause come in so quickly. Whereas refined carbo will actually bring menopause earlier by 1.5 years. So what are refined carbs? Rice, or bread, okay, cakes, highly processed pastries, biscuits, etc. These are all refined carbs. So the research actually hypothesized that it could be because of the sugar in these refined carbs that constantly bring up our level of insulin. And we know insulin is a hormone that affect the hormones of all the other hormones of our body as well. So it could be because of that the woman enter menopause earlier. So if you want to prolong your reproductive years, still thinking of having baby, okay, want to enjoy this longer, okay, try to cut down on the refined carbs. Vitamin B6 is a specific one that is linked to about 0.6 year, okay, of extension, and zinc is also useful. Okay, other food choices include get enough calcium and vitamin D that would help to slow down the process of menopause. Of course, watching the portion control when we eat, okay, everything in moderation. Try to practice a healthy plate and eat in moderation. Not smoking is definitely one that is very, very important. Avoid excessive alcohol as well. We know that alcohol is also the toxic that come into our body. It's going to affect our body balance as well. And of course, maintain a healthy weight. So these are all some of the suggestions that we could do or we could work on to slow down the process of menopause. For many of us who haven't entered into that stage, okay, so these are the things that we can do and it's worth investing definitely in our health. So what else? Exercise is another one, okay? Exercise most day of the week for at least 30 minutes. Like what we saw in the UK research just now, if this woman exercised for 2.5 hours, which is 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week, greatly reduce the risk of breast cancer. Not only that, okay, if this woman is also doing weight bearing exercise, so this exercise is not just running, or jogging for 30 minutes, not good enough. Need to do some weights, meaning things like squat, things like what we do lah every week 3 times, when we run our exercise. So resistant exercise, do that. It will help to bring up lean body mass, which reduce the symptom of menopause by up to 70%. Worth investing, right? I'm sure it's worth investing your effort and time because it can bring down the symptom by so much. It increases metabolism. Why do we want to increase metabolism? Because we know once we enter into perimenopause, our metabolism drop because of estrogen drop as well. And we don't want to gain more weight, especially around our body, our belly part. So increased metabolism is good. Exercise also reduce stress. Okay, join us for the exercise. You realize that it helps to reduce stress and of course it builds our confidence as well. Attitude is very important as in Lifestyle Connect we always believe in EARN. Okay, A is the attitude. Staying positive, be confident is always important in our overall health. And of course, we need to incorporate strategies to reduce stress. Mm, when we do consultation, many of the women actually they are pretty stressful, especially during this period. Stressful about their work, security of their work, of their income, about the family, about the husband, about the kids. Could be exams, it could be kids' health, etc., etc. And a lot of ladies actually have the issue of thinking too much, and thinking too much about others or worrying too much about others. So we need to have strategy to reduce stress. What is your strategy? You can share in the comment. Okay, what are your strategy to reduce stress? It could be shopping, as long as it doesn't stress you too much when you look at the credit card bill, no problem, go ahead. Okay, it could be music, it could be some exercise, yoga. We just have to find our ways to reduce stress and make us relax. It could just be as simple as a walk in the park. Just spend 30 minutes, put your handphone away, and go for a walk. Okay? Find that. You need that. Okay? Everybody needs that. Okay? Because stress and mental health has become more and more an issue as we go through many consultations. We realize that. So this is what we always recommend. Okay? Maintain, of course, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and triglyceride level. These are totally what we can manage with our diet and lifestyle. Okay, just control, understand our food nutrition, understand what we eat. If you want to learn more about how to manage this, please join us for our basic nutrition course. It's all online now. Okay, you can learn about all this and how to take care of ourselves, not just ourselves but also our family. Maintain good sleep hygiene. I still have friends who are actually hugging their handphone to sleep. Okay? So try not to do that because it's definitely going to affect our sleep. Have a dark room. Make sure that your room is totally dark when you sleep. Also, of course, have enough sleep. Okay? Try to sleep early as much as we can. And get help. If you really feel the anxiety, if you really feel the discomfort, feel that you can't handle, please get help. Okay, we also know that there are many ladies or men alike that they are just, it could be because of the ego, it could be because of personality, they are just not willing to open themselves up to show their weaker parts to others. But I think it's important, before we do anything silly, reach out to someone whom you can trust, okay, to talk it out and to resolve the issue. Okay, if you need help with us, of course, let us know. Myself, Liz, will all be available to hear you out, and we can always discuss how to go about, how to manage this. Okay, what else? Stop using your old pans. So go to your kitchen and take a look at your pots and pans. Do you have a lot of the non-stick pans? Are they still good in terms of the coating? So PFOA, PFOS are the chemicals that is in, for example, on our raincoat, non-stick pan, etc. And the residue of it, if it gets into our body, okay, research has shown that it affects our hormones. Okay, so we should avoid that as much as we can. You can use your stainless steel pots and pans, the better ones, okay, to avoid this problem. Also, stop using plastic containers, cling wraps, especially if you need to heat up things. So whenever I go, sometimes, at a coffee shop and all that, I see people heat up the food in plastic containers. That is really bad because we know that the PBA and all that can get into our hormones and affect our hormones as well. That is why we always recommend a good water filter, our eSpring water filter for our clients, because many research has shown that this PFOA, PFOS, plastic, microplastics, all these are in our tap water. And over the long term, it could affect our reproduction system, it could affect our hormonal balance, and all that as well. So if you can, okay, get a good water filter, use our eSpring, and you could protect the kidney and protect the whole body from all these chemicals. Okay? Of course, for skincare as well, choose a good skincare brand. Try to avoid products with very strong chemicals, which we know that is not going to help with us. And keep your mind sharp. Okay? Keep learning new skill, learning new things. So if your friends who you think can benefit from the talk like that, okay, invite them in every Monday night. We're going to have this free nutrition workshop. Come in and learn. Okay? Or you can do crossword puzzle. A friend was just telling me mahjong is also good. I think it's fine as long as it doesn't add on to your financial burden, stress or whatever. And keep your mind sharp. It'll be really good. Okay, to slow down the process of menopause. And in our experience for this many years in LiCo Wellness, we use Wellness 45 to help many of the clients delay the menopause process. We do have clients who already have irregular menses, okay, already feeling the discomfort of the hot flushes, etc. But after they have done the Wellness 45, which is really the reset program for the body, Okay, the regular menstrual cycle came back. Okay, they have less issues about all these menopause symptoms. Okay, and that lasts them a lot longer before they really enter into menopause. So this is Wellness 45. Talk to us if you need to know more, or you can search for our old video that talks about Wellness 45. But this is really a very good program to reset our health, okay, and to bring us a bit further away from menopause for many ladies. Okay, and of course we use Nutrilite, which is an over 80-year-old nutrition brand, and is the only brand to grow, harvest, and process plants on its own certified organic farm. Okay, so the supplements that we usually recommend for us to dance through menopause, okay, important one would be the Nutri-Mill. Nutri-Mill is what I've been taking, my daughter's been taking, many of our clients are taking as a meal replacement. Usually we just take 4 scoops of it as our breakfast. It gives us enough protein, fiber, low calories, give us good plant extract and also 25 vitamins and minerals. Let me explain to you why do we need all that. Okay, alternative ways to ease symptoms of menopause are plant estrogen. I think many of us heard of that before, but not many realize that there are two main types of phytoestrogen that are important in during this period of menopause. One is the isoflavones. Isoflavones are more, I think, readily publicized, which is the soybean, lentils, chickpeas, and all the legumes. The other one is the lignans, actually. Lignans are also important. It's abundance in the flaxseed, many of these seeds, okay, sunflower seeds, but the seeds you need to grind them to eat them in order to have the benefit. Oats and wheat, okay, these are the whole meal items that you can have them as well. Cashew nuts, pistachios, they are in the nuts. Kale, broccoli, blueberries, and strawberries. The fruits and vegetables will have the lignans as well. These are the ones that could mimic estrogen in our body, okay, and help to cushion the impact of menopause, help to ease the menopause. Sage could be used as well. Black cohosh is another one. Of course, in terms of lifestyle, as we explained, the exercise will definitely help. We can do yoga, we can use Tai Chi or weight exercise, that's also very important, and acupressure point. Certain point we actually can use to help to ease the symptom as well. So let's talk about the plant estrogen first. Okay, why do we recommend all plant protein? Because it is all plant. Okay, it has got legumes, which is soy, vegetable, which is pea, and whole grain, which is wheat. So these three, if you look at it, okay, exactly what we need for isoflavones and lignans. Because we know that for plant estrogen is something that we need to eat on a daily basis, okay, and take enough on a daily basis. So we also understand through our consultation that it's not easy to have chickpeas, to have sunflower seeds, cashew nuts, kale, broccoli, on a daily basis. So we use our protein, which is one of the most important supplements that we do, okay, from 1 year old all the way to the end of life actually, okay, and of course here we could use it for menopause as well. Okay. The other one is black cohosh. So the health benefit of black cohosh has been well researched. There are many research that we can refer to. It helps to reduce menopause symptoms, including headaches and migraines, which some ladies experience. It aid in weight loss, especially for menopause weight loss. Not a 20-year-old girl trying to take black cohosh. It doesn't work this way. Okay. It helps to combat rheumatoid arthritis. It help us to sleep better, anti-inflammatory, improve the moods, and also reduce the blood pressures. So these are all the goodness of black cohosh, which is a natural herb. And we have to know that black cohosh is not available in any other food. It's not a substance, like a lignan that is available in the strawberry, kale, etc. This is the plant itself, and the plant is called black cohosh. Okay, and how much do we need to take? 40 to 200 mg a day. Spread throughout the day would be good because the body would not be able to absorb so much. Okay, and you can take it like 3 times a day, for example. Okay, so Nutrilite, black cohosh, and soy is what we have. It's got 40 mg of black cohosh, okay, 100 mg of soy, isoflavones. You say that is what we need. Remember, calcium, because we do need this when we enter into menopause. As raw cherry and citrus bioflavonoids are additional antioxidant to help to protect the skin, the blood vessel, because all these areas are under at risk, okay, during menopause period. But more importantly, look at the black cohosh. 40 mg is the minimum that we could take. Okay, we can take 3 times a day to get, okay, 120 mg, and that should be sufficient, okay, to help to soothe all the symptoms and to get all the benefits that we want from here, from black cohosh. You can start taking black cohosh once you start to feel the symptoms of perimenopause, meaning starting to have irregular menses, more flow, less, etc. And it will start to help with all this from then. Okay. Now, of course, Nutralite meal replacement, when we talk about a balanced diet, meal replacement is always what we put in as well. Important thing is there's no preservative, artificial flavoring, sweetener, no trans fats, no GMO ingredients. So it's very natural, okay, while providing us with 25 vitamins and minerals. It's very low in calorie. It helps us to manage our weight as well. And of course, double X, important. I think the most important thing is not just the 12 vitamins and 9 minerals, but the 17 different plants concentrates, which we know exactly how much is in each of them. For example, 12.5 mg of pomegranate, prune, rosemary, sage. We talked about sage just now, remember? So it's in here as well, which will definitely help in terms of menopause symptom. Right? So these are the plants. Of course, we still need our natural fruits and vegetables. So I will always recommend you can do a fruits vegetable juice or include more of this in your diet. But knowing us, okay, knowing how busy we can be and how our lifestyle can take us away from all these healthy eating habits, this is a good insurance. This is a good minimum that we could take. At least it gives us the minimum that we need. What we talked about just now, we talked about kale, remember? We talked about cherry, okay? Yeah, we talked about sage. All these are good phytonutrients that the body can use during menopause. Okay? Omega as well. So just now we talked about omega. Okay, daily dosage or daily intake of oily fish, which means the tuna, salmon, can take the 鳕鱼, all this can prolong or delay menopause by over 3 years. Of course, we understand that eating oily fish on an every day is not easy. Okay, so this is what can come into play. Help us not just to help us with prolong our reproductive cycle. It helps to bring down inflammation, reduce cholesterol and triglyceride, which we know will go up after menopause, inhibit platelets aggregation, reduce the inflammations for the joint, the cartilage, and also dilute the blood. Okay, so that the risk of cardiovascular disease, all this will become lower as well. And it moisturizes the skin, which is also one menopause symptom that many women experience. Okay, and last but not least, we have our calcium, magnesium, D. Okay, we know we need calcium, but how much calcium? Actually, for ladies who are entering into menopause, you need about 1,200 mg of calcium. Okay, so for Nutralite CalMag D, every 3 tablets will give us 600 mg. Why do we want to make our dosage so low? Because we want to spread it across the day and not to take everything at one go. Okay, so 3 tablets a day will give you 600 mg of calcium. Of course, you still need to take your calcium-rich natural food. It gives us magnesium as well to work hand in hand with calcium, and of course vitamin D to help with the absorption. So that will give us a good protection on our bone mass so that the body doesn't compromise our bone mass and we are lesser the risk of osteoporosis. So, having said all that, for the 45-50 minutes just now, is it good to go into menopause? Answer me. Answer me in the comment. Is it good or not, do you think, to go into menopause? Okay? I really think that is yes. Okay? We should really dance through menopause and celebrate for women and of the change, because menopause is a natural progression. Okay? I would want to go through it because the only woman who didn't manage to go through menopause, so unfortunately, the poor woman died before that. Okay, as long as we want to go into our old age, we need to go through menopause. Okay, it's a natural progression, is a necessary stage, but how to embrace it, I think is a more important thing. So having said that, for the past 45, 15 minutes, if you have any question, please contact us to talk to us one-to-one on exactly how we could work together to manage this. But if not, right, I think the community is really important. Have good friends, have people who you can work with together, you can discuss this together, learn from each other to exchange wisdom. Okay? We can grow up together. Okay? And of course, a good gynae will definitely help. If you experience any discomfort, if you want to confirm certain things, always talk to your gynae and your nutritionist. Because most of the time, what is happening in our body can be adjusted or can be improved with our diet, with our lifestyle. Okay? And exercise together. Okay, join us to exercise together if you can, scientifically proven, okay, to be able to help with many of these symptoms. Laugh more, okay? Smile, everyone, okay? As we are entering towards the end of our course tonight, and also never stop learning. Don't stop learning. Menopause is just another stage of our life. It's not the end, okay? And don't get so worried about it. Okay, we shall have another hour to talk about men's issue at old age, so that we know that although we have all these issues, we are not alone. Okay, be a bit more understanding, be a bit more forgiving for ourselves as well, and be willing to share, be willing to open up and talk. Yeah, I think these are all very important, and definitely it will help us dance through menopause. So let us know if you'd like to dance through your menopause with us, or even for those of you who are very early in your years, learn so that we can go through this together gracefully. Okay, so I'm going to share with you now next week. Next week, Liz will be sharing with us on inflammation at the root of most disease. So inflammation, we know that is actually the root of many, many issues in our body. Okay, this talk is going to be in Mandarin. Okay, although in Mandarin, usually when we talk about disease, we always jump directly into the different disease, but without realizing that many of these diseases are actually caused by inflammation, or it's all started with inflammation. Okay, so this is what we will be sharing, at least we'll be sharing next Monday at 9:30 p.m. So at this point, let me take a look uh, and see if you have any questions. If you have any questions, please put it in your chat, okay, so that I could answer them. We might not have all the answers, but we will definitely be able to find out, okay, and learn together. So provide us with some feedback on what we have gone through tonight. Okay, feedback, questions, or is there any topic whom you like to learn, like us to share? Also let us know so that we can prepare and we can share, we can learn together. Right? Any questions? If not, then that will be all for my sharing tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the talk and learned as much as I did tonight. Thank you very much. I'm Jeannie, your Senior Nutrition Consultant. Bye bye.